The Detroit Lions got much better this offseason, but there's still one area that I think we all agree we're just a little. I wish we were a little bit better. And PFF went through and they named one trade or one free agent signing that each team could make prior to training camp to get better. And for the Lions, I think it's absolutely perfect. So I wanted to share it with you. Matt Ioannidis, defensive lineman, that is the best defensive lineman still available. Best free agent defensive lineman still available from this offseason, has not signed with anybody. And last year, he landed with the Carolina Panthers on a 1-year, $6 million deal. So you could get him for that or less. Just he's another year older. And he had a good year, but nothing great. So he was paired with Derek Brown as a lighter pass rusher up the middle. Ioannidis missed time here and there in recent seasons with injuries, but is consistently strong pass rusher from the interior. And he gets about a 70 grade PFF grade in each of the past 6 seasons. So this is a depth piece next to Alim McNeill, a reliable veteran. And it's just that one little piece. We've got edge rushers galore. We've got Charles Harris. We've got, guys like that are coming back from injuries, the Aquara brothers. So there's guys that are literally going to get cut from the defensive end. But in the interior, we'd like a little bit more beef there, or at least some pass rushing ability. So if you look at the top defensive tackles that were off the board this year, Delvin Tomlinson, 1, 2, Calais Campbell, Fletcher Cox, Darren Payne, you just go down the list, Hargrave, and you can see what these guys are getting. 4 years, $80 million, 3 years, $35 million. And then you go, Ioannidis is number 8, and he remains unsigned. And this is the best way to describe this guy: a solid, well-rounded defensive tackle with no weaknesses. The weakness is that he can't stay healthy. He's a little undersized. He's more of a pass rusher guy, but I like that for an opportunity to bring in a guy that can really compete at least, right? So at least compete in camp and be one other free agent signing that we have. So Detroit does not have many holes left, but not significantly addressing the interior defensive line this offseason via free agency or draft leaves an area of need for reinforcements. Exactly. That is where the Lions really need to look at something. And by the way, look at this. The Green Bay Packers, they need a safety, which is just beautiful because remember, we traded them a 5th-round pick to move up 3 spots to get Brian Branch at safety. They need a safety. It's kind of funny because love that. Love when you can take advantage of the Packers. And anyway, any divisional team, but the Packers especially. So you forget that, the Lions improved in every level. And what we're banking on the defensive side of the ball, especially defensive line, is that injured guys come back for the defensive ends and really bolster that. Our rookie guys get better. Hutchinson, and Houston, Pascal get better and really take a leap. And we're really hoping on Alim McNeill, and we brought in a couple of veteran guys, Covington on the defensive side, but we're really hoping that the defensive line in general just kind of takes a leap because you look at linebacker Jack Campbell, secondary, of course, all the moves that we made there, drafting Brian Branch. So defensively got better at every level. Offensively, kind of a different, weird way that the Lions got better at running back, which is I say weird just because it wasn't on anybody's radar, but I think the Lions really want to run the ball successfully because we've talked about it. We got a lot of good 8-yard runs last year from Jamal. A lot of good 8-yard runs a couple of those had to pop for like 40 yards. You make one man miss and you're going to go for 40 yards. So I think got better at every level. We're banking on Jared Goff to just build off of last year. We're banking on Ben Johnson to really in his second full year. You forget last year was his full year as he was the man offensive coordinator. And even in the beginning of last year, remember him, Dan Campbell, who's calling plays? Is he calling it? And then Dan Campbell really gave it over to Ben Johnson to call plays. He could really manage the game. So it's a full year of we know what we're doing. We got everybody in place. That's what everybody's most excited about. But the defensive line is the only one just kind of wondering about it. Also, for me, wide receiver depth. The wide receiver depth, you have Marvin Jones and Josh Reynolds now. It's a couple of veteran guys that are a little bit older that you're counting on now because Jameson Williams is out. So the wide receiver depth, want to see what that looks like. Also, defensive line, not necessarily depth, but in order for us to be a really good team and to really take that next step to go into the playoffs and far to the playoffs, is our defensive line good enough? Do we have the depth that we think we do on the defensive end side of the ball? Again, with the Aquara brothers, are they all finally going to put it together? Charles Harris coming back from injury, Pascal, Hutchinson, Houston, all these guys that we're really counting on to play well. John Kaminsky's back, Bugs, we've got a ton of guys on the defensive line. It's just a matter of who's going to play, who's going to stick around. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. I like adding another defensive lineman just for competition going into training camp. Why not? And so this is an interior defensive lineman. I think that's the one area we'd like to just see where we're at. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this, and we'll see all of you on the next one.